Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money challenges conventional financial wisdom by asserting that financial decisions are rarely governed by rational economic theories or neat spreadsheets. Instead, a complex interplay of human factors, including personal history, emotion, and ingrained psychological biases, profoundly shapes our relationship with money and influences our financial outcomes. The book delves into the human factor to explain behaviors that might appear irrational on the surface but are intuitively logical when understood through the lens of individual experience and psychological drivers. Everyone has their own experience of the economy and money. Financial perspectives are deeply personal, shaped by individual history rather than a universal understanding of economic reality. What one person experiences as a devastating economic downturn, another might navigate with relative ease, or even profit. When John F. Kennedy ran for president in 1960, he was asked about his experience of the Great Depression. His answer surprised many voters. The Kennedys, he said, were already wealthy in 1929, and over the next 10 years, their fortune wasn't wiped out, it actually grew. Different socioeconomic backgrounds and formative experiences create divergent financial worldviews. We often know less than we'd like to think we do about the broader economic reality. Personal experience drives financial decision-making beyond rationality. Financial choices, even those appearing irrational from an economic textbook perspective, are often logical within the context of an individual's lived experience and perceived options. Low-income households spending $411 annually on lottery tickets despite struggling to find $400 for an emergency. This isn't rational in the traditional sense, but it offers a long shot at obtaining the good stuff wealthier folks take for granted. Malmendier and Nagel study, 2006, what the economy was doing when the investors were young adults significantly determines their attitude to risk. For instance, high inflation during formative years makes individuals unlikely to invest in bonds later, and stock market performance in early adulthood similarly shapes future stock investment behavior, often resistant to change even when market conditions shift. Modern economic concepts are historically immature. Many fundamental financial concepts and practices we take for granted today are relatively new in the grand scheme of human history, explaining why individuals often struggle with financial planning. The first currency emerged around 600 BC. More complex concepts like retirement as an attainable ideal are less than 2 generations old, with Social Security becoming widespread after World War II and 401k only introduced in 1978 and Roth IRA in 1998. If we're bad at financial planning and decision-making, it's not because we're crazy, it's because we're greenhorns. Luck plays a significant, often underestimated role in financial success. While hard work and skill are acknowledged, the impact of luck in successful financial outcomes is frequently overlooked or misattributed, leading to flawed understandings of success and failure. Robert Shiller, the Nobel Prize-winning economist, expressed a desire to know the exact role of luck in successful outcomes. People tend to attribute their own successes to hard work and failures to bad luck, but attribute others' failures to character flaws. Media often celebrates second-rate or reckless investors who got lucky and made a fortune, while ignoring brilliant investors who went broke because they were unlucky. Bill Gates' insight: success is a lousy teacher. It tricks smart people into overlooking the role of luck, which in turn makes them think that they can't lose. Focus on broad patterns over specific outliers for better financial decisions. Emulating the specific actions of highly successful individuals, especially outliers like billionaires, is often futile because their success is heavily influenced by unique circumstances and luck that cannot be replicated. John D. Rockefeller, his disregard for legal conventions, viewed as visionary in retrospect due to his success, might have been seen as criminal if he had failed. The difference is luck. More importantly, good luck is all but impossible to emulate. Even if you mimic every career step of someone like Warren Buffett, you can't ensure the dice will fall the same way for you as they did for him. Stick to analyzing patterns of success and failure. The more common a pattern, the more likely that it's applicable to your life and financial decisions. Envy can lead to reckless financial decisions. Capitalism excels at generating both wealth and envy. Comparing oneself to others who have more, even when one is objectively wealthy, can drive poor and illegal choices. Rajat Gupta. Despite being worth $100 million after a successful career, his envy of billionaires led him to commit insider trading, resulting in a prison sentence rather than the desired billion-dollar fortune. Envy drives bad calls, and the cost of those calls is a lot higher than the gains you stand to make. Knowing when is enough, and recognizing that leaving opportunities on the table doesn't necessarily mean you're missing out. It's often recognition that trying to devour everything will push you to the point of regret. Amassing a fortune is easier than keeping it. Perseverance and fear of loss are key. Getting rich often involves taking risks and being optimistic, but staying rich requires a different psychological approach focused on humility, fear of losing what has been gained, and a long-term perspective. Jesse Livermore, a highly successful trader who amassed a fortune betting against the market in 1929, but subsequently lost it all through overconfidence and reckless large bets, ultimately taking his own life. Making money is all about risk, optimism, and courage. Keeping money is an entirely different psychological ballgame. It's about the fear that everything you've made could be taken away. Staying rich also means being humble. Perseverance. The entrepreneurs who do best stick around for a long time without wiping out. This is driven by a healthy fear of losing. Michael Moritz. When you're scared of losing, you look at potential wins through a different lens. Few gains are large enough to justify risking losing everything you already have. You can be wrong half the time and still achieve great success. Success in investing or collecting often hinges on a few major wins outperforming numerous failures, rather than a perfect track record. Heinz Berggruen amassed an art collection estimated at $1 billion, which he sold for 100 million euros. His strategy was to buy vast quantities of art, knowing that some acquisitions turn out to be great investments. The majority, however, are duds. The long tail. The tendency of a small number of events to account for the majority of outcomes. Basically, when you get a few things right, you can afford to get more things wrong. Failure is inevitable. What really matters is the nature of your successes. Put differently, when you're sitting on one Picasso, you don't have to worry about the 99 duds in your collection. Housel emphasizes that financial decision-making is fundamentally intertwined with psychological factors. So the key message is that to navigate the real world of money effectively, individuals should acknowledge the role of luck, develop a healthy fear of losing what they've accumulated, hedge their bets through diversified strategies, and learn to manage the human emotions that often drive irrational, yet intuitively logical, financial behavior. If this helped, subscribe for more book briefings and practical takes. Thanks for watching.